Scandal to another. Nearly half of all branch staff at Britain's biggest banks claim that colleagues are mis-selling financial products in order to hit their sales targets. A report from the consumer group Which found that 65% of bank staff with these targets said they were being placed under more pressure than ever to hit them. That's despite the recent publicity surrounding the mis-selling of payment protection insurance. Well, Richard Lloyd, Executive Director at Which, is with me now. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Rebecca.
How did you conduct this survey? Did you literally ring up bank staff and ask them what they thought?
We talked to hundreds of bank staff anonymously, and I think what we found shows the frustration they're feeling, this huge gap between the rhetoric from banking industry leaders and the pressure they're feeling under every day to sell products that people don't need. We also talked to thousands of consumers who are saying in very large numbers, every time they go to their bank branch or they call in, they're being offered products and services they don't want, don't need, and a third of people who were in that group said they'd had to refuse a product more than once in a call, for example. So this shows really a shocking state of a persistent sales culture in an industry that, as you say, has been rocked by the PPI mis-selling scandal. The lessons haven't been learnt, and the big change that we need to see in banking culture simply hasn't filtered through to the front line.
It's interesting. One of your findings says that even when you take away the reward system, many bank staff are still behaving in this way, which implies that the solution is pretty complicated.
It does, and we found, as you say, when the bonus schemes for sales targets have been removed, as they have in one or two banks, staff are still saying they're feeling under that increasing pressure to hit targets. They're having power hours where they're being urged by their managers to sell more, to put their customers under more pressure to accept new products. So this is a very, very long-standing, deep-seated culture in banking that needs to be tackled. That's why we want the Parliamentary Commission on Banking Standards to back an independent code of conduct for bankers, for individual bankers to be held to account for this, and for the banking industry leaders to put the rhetoric that they've all been telling their customers and Parliament about cleaning up the industry into real action. We need to see very big change.
And very briefly, Richard, are any banks doing this already effectively?
There are two banks now that have said they're going to scrap the bonuses for sales targets. That still, though, hasn't trickled through to the front line in changing the sales staff's behaviour. We need to see more of that across the industry and those statutory controls put into practice very quickly.
Thank you very much, Richard Lloyd from Which. Time for a quick look at the markets now. And we had the European Central Bank yesterday downgrading its forecast for European growth, and that's affected the markets this morning. We also had the German Bundesbank doing the same in Germany today, and we've got some key US job figures coming out later today, which the markets are all waiting for. More from me later. Back to you.
Becca, thank you very much indeed. We'll see you later.
And Matt Taylor with the weather. Matt, what do you got?